from City Girl Gardening here in the Piedmont region of South Carolina. I am just going to walk through the garden just a little bit to check things out and see how things are going in the garden. I wanted to get out today and do a video, put some things down, finish a few projects that I have started out in the garden. However, it started to rain and it has been raining off and on today, so I'm not going to get out today and do much out here. I just wanted to take a walk through and let you guys see what's going on in the garden. I'm approaching one of my tomato beds here, and I hope you guys can see these tomatoes that are growing here on the vines. This is one of the tomato plants that I started indoors this spring, for this spring season. I would always buy transplants, so I am extremely proud of this tomato plant, and I have some other tomato plants that I grew. I started from seed, but I do have some transplants that I did put out at the beginning of the season because I wanted to be able to have a harvest throughout the season, and I knew my seeds weren't, my plants weren't ready yet, so I did buy some transplants to put out, and then once mine were ready and could go outside, I put them outside all over the garden, and I'm extremely proud because they are doing extremely well. So as again, you can see here, my little tomato plant here, I did have a label here. This is, can't think right now, right off the top of my head, because once I started removing things from the containers that I started the seeds in, I can't tell you what happened to the labels, but that was bad organization on my part. But yet and still, when these tomatoes are done, we're going to enjoy them and we're going to eat them. It kind of looks like almost like a Roma tomato, and that might be what it is. But nonetheless, those are my tomato plants, and I want you guys to take a look here. Along this fence here, I have the black mineral cow buckets. They were gifted to me from my cousin. And take a look down here. I planted in this bed some different varieties of squash and zucchini. You can see here my patty pan, yellow patty pan squash, scallop squash growing here. Take a look there. Got them all in there. I have some of the straight neck squash growing on this plant here. And you can see the little babies and stuff, one here, one over there. And then take a look at this one here. Got a zucchini growing. I did have a yellow zucchini. These I think need to open up and hopefully get germinated. And then down in here, take a look. There is a hook neck squash sitting right here. We're going to let that get just a little bit bigger before I harvest that. But if you guys can see, this is my garden. I have planters, 3 on this side, 3 on the other side, that I had built, made with red cedar wood. They smell so good. I love to smell them. They smell so good. And as you can see in this bed, this is one of the trellises that I did put up within this past, I think I did the video 2 days ago. I put this trellis up here, and this bed, this is a 6x3 garden raised bed. You see I have some tomatoes here. I'm going to go ahead and get that one off because it's already turning. And then you can see here I have on this tree here, right around here, I have my Cherokee purple. And you can see here I have more. I have some up under, some in the inside that's growing. I have them all over. Here you can see this bed. This is some peppers along the front. I have cherry tomatoes in here along the back side. You can see my peppers growing here, and all in there I have cherry tomatoes. If you take a look here, I have some of my jalapenos that are growing. This over here is a husky cherry tomato plant. I have tomatoes here all over growing. And then, of course, I have some motherland okra, some gene okra in this bed, as well as some Alabama red. And take a look back over here at this side. These are some black cherry tomatoes. But this is the garden. I'm going to come up here to the front, let you guys see the back. I'm learning how to work my camera. I have a ring light, stand, tripod, all of that stuff. But I'm learning how to work it to give you guys some good views of the garden. Here. We're going to come on back towards the back here. And in this bed, I installed a trellis here. And then as you can see, I have some of the tricolor beans that are around here. And then the seeds that I planted down in here, they're for some of the winter squash. I lined about 2 of them up to trellis up. And I think they are the butternut squash that I planted there. I didn't put a label because I kind of know what's in the bed. I just at times just don't know what type it is. And then you can see here my sweet potatoes, how they're growing. And along the trellis here, I did put some of the I put some tender green beans that are growing along, that'll grow up along this trellis here. Because sweet potatoes and beans, they are companion plants and they do really well together. I do want to show you guys this big beauty sitting back over here, and this is a straight neck squash plant. And as you can see, I have about 3 straight neck squash that are growing in here. I put a trellis here in this bed as well, and down here you can kind of see they've already sprouted, which is great. Here in this bed, let's see if I can get my camera going to it for you guys. Here is a spaghetti squash plant that I planted here, and then here is the other one. I know that the vine borers have gotten to this squash, and I just want those 3 over there that are growing, the straight neck, to go ahead and grow out, get a little bit bigger, and I'm going to just go ahead and pull this one up. So I just went ahead and planted those seeds to get them germinating. And then you can see here on this end as well, I have here, I'm going to help it out just a little bit, I have here a butternut squash that I planted. I planted 2 of them. I just see only one has sprouted, so I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, and if the other one doesn't sprout, I will put another seed down in there and hope that that one sprouts. And then if you guys take a look here, vine borers have gotten hold of this zucchini plant as well. And if you can see here, if you guys can see here, I do have zucchini growing here. I have one here, and there's one down in there that needs to get pollinated, but I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and pull this one up. Got a zucchini here, so I'm go ahead and pull this one up. And again, in this bed, I did put a trellis here in this bed, and in this bed, I did put right here, and all 3 of them have germinated. I put delicata squash here, and I have 3 that are growing right here. But what I am going to do is I'll probably end up I'll pull 2 of those up. Once they grow just a little bit bigger, I'll pull 2 of them up and allow one to just sprawl up the trellis, because as you can see here, I have my asparagus green bean planted here, so those can trellis up on both sides of the bed. And then towards the edges, I put some tricolor green beans. And then you can see here as well, I have corn sprouting up. So in this bed, you can say that this is a Three Sisters bed, because I have the corn that's sprouting here. And towards the front, I have my beans, and then I have my squash. Let me get this tomato here, and then I want to show you guys my other pepper here. This is a striped pepper that I started indoor from seed. This one was stunted. We had some cool, I put it out, it was warm, and then it got cool, and it kind of stunted the growth of it, and I didn't think it would do well, but this is the only one that has grown on this plant, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to harvest it let it get a little bit bigger, and I'm going to harvest it and enjoy it like it was $1 million. And take a look here, I have a bell pepper here. It's either turning red or it's going to turn orange. I don't remember, but I don't have my marker there. And if you guys want to take another little look here, I have some banana peppers. These are some hot banana peppers. And then I have more of the jalapenos that are growing here in the garden. I'm going to take you guys over to my hens. I got them back in May of this year. What sparked me to get them back in May was I went to the grocery store and I needed some eggs because I do bake, and I bake cakes for people, and I bake desserts and cakes for us here at home, and I needed some eggs. Oh my God. I want y'all to look at this volunteer corn that I have growing back here by the coop. I gave the chicks some whole corn, and then they had cracked corn in their feed, and I'm sure that one of the corn seeds have germinated. Look at here. I have a corn stalk growing right here by the chick's bed. Now, is that not something? Take a look at that. And then look at them. They're all here. Watching me. These are my girls, but I got them back in May because I went to the grocery store to get some eggs, and I was only going to get a dozen, and I walked in. I was just astonished at the fact that the eggs had gone up for a dozen. It was $2.99 for the dozen of eggs, and I thought to myself, I have never in my life paid $3 for a dozen of eggs, and I said I will not. And from that weekend, I went out to Tractor Supply. Well, I did my research first on some chicks, and then I went out to Tractor Supply the following weekend, and I got 4 chicks. I got 2 of the white leghorn chicks, and then I got 2 of the golden brown Isa chicks. My brown Isa chicks will lay brown eggs, and then the leghorn, they will lay white eggs. They have grown up together. My husband and I, we named them after our grandparents. We do have one that our son Justin, he's 6. He named one of the white leghorn Buttercake, and then the other white leghorn is Ella. And then I have Lily Coot. My grandmother was Lily, and her nickname was Coot. So we have Lily Coot here, and then my dad's mom was Isabel. Isabel is the sweet. She is one of the sweetest of the chicks. And my grandma Isabel, she was so sweet. She was so kind. She was frail, beautiful long hair, and Isabel, the hen, reminds me so much of her demeanor and how she is around in here, and that the others, they tend to pick on her a little bit. Lily Coot was my mom's mother, and she was kind of feisty in her day. And sure enough, Lily Coot, the hen, she is the bully in the coop. Ella is my husband's grandmother who raised him, and he knows her to be sweet and friendly and calm. And then we have Buttercake, who is another. She's kind of a firecracker as well. And so these are my girls. I have to not run them off of their, get down, get down. I have to run them off top of their feeder quite often. But here are my girls. They, hopefully in another month or two, they will start to lay eggs, because I'm just not into buying eggs and paying that much for a dozen of eggs. And so these are our girls that we have. I'm just a backyard gardener. I've had the pleasure of helping, gathering up information, and I've had so much success in my garden that I am a certified South Carolina gardener. I have had the opportunities to set up and help others set their gardens up, and their gardens have flourished and done very well. We keep in contact. We message each other. We call each other. We meet up at farmers markets. We have developed a friendship and a relationship through gardening. And I'm just a backyard gardener. I have my raised beds. I have my cow mineral buckets along the fence there. I have my 2 raised beds that are over on the side of the house. And then this is the rest of the raised beds. I do have those buckets there because I have fruit trees in the 5-gallon buckets that are in the inside of the raised beds, in the walkways of the raised beds, and I'm going to move them over into the bigger mineral buckets to grow up a little bit more. I didn't get fruit this year on my fruit trees because I've only had them for a year, but they did start to flower. But I didn't get, I had maybe 1 or 2 of the blackberries, 1 or 2 blueberries to come up, and a few of the raspberries to come up. But I didn't get I didn't get a lot, which was typical being that they're only about a year old. So next year, hopefully, I'll get more flowering. It'll grow out a little bit more. I am going to move them to bigger pots because I feel like they've outgrown the 5-gallon bucket, and hope for the best. And then you can see up against the back of the house here, I have my greenhouse. And my husband, he bought that for me back during I think it was January or February. He bought that for me so that I could put seeds in it, because I was starting seeds in the house and I had them kind of like everywhere, all over. And he bought me this greenhouse, and I'm going to walk over here to it so you guys can see. I do have my trays here with some of my seeds for fall crops. I do have down here a DIY grow box. What I ended up taking a under the counter light. I glued it inside the lid of a tote with the clear Gorilla Grip glue, and I put a slit in the top to feed the cord through, and I made a grow light box that I could take easily into the house, sit it on top, plug it in, sit it on top of the washing machine, and I can germinate seeds in that as well. I do have grow lights that I I have a grow light up under here that is attached under here, and I do have some of the lights with the clamp lights. I have 2 of those. I need to get those and get them out here for the nighttime. I removed the grow lights from those when I had the chicks because I replaced them with the heat lights to keep the chicks warm. But now that I'm starting some seeds, I am going to get them back out here in the greenhouse. But this is my greenhouse that I have sitting outside. You can see my black mineral buckets along the fence, and you can see my garden behind me and the chicken coop with my girls in it. I have no idea what that is on my forehead. But I'm Dee, your city girl gardener. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Give me some feedback, some comments. Support the channel. And thanks for tuning in.